right, heavy duty crew. We got a little something special today. Today marks the first day of the rest of my life in terms of training. So I recently had Paul Carter on the podcast, and I'm going to try a second set. That's right, we're going to stop short of failure and attempt a second set. We are going to test out the theory. So for the longest time, we've had our three pillars of training: intensity, volume, frequency. We had our intensity as a constant 100%, accurately measurable across the board. That left us with two variables that we could change. Well, I am now about to attempt to mitigate intensity, so that I can fit more volume in. In my very childlike understanding of this, the reason that I could potentially see an increased stimulus would be for this reason: that by leaving off the most fatiguing rep, I would be able to pass over those highest threshold motor units another time, activating them once again before they completely fatigue, right? Our different size motor units have different endurance thresholds. The smallest ones can go all day long, right? The medium ones, little less endurance, but more force output. Your highest force output ones tire out really quickly. So perhaps, and this is in theory, we're gonna test this over the next few weeks, but if I could shave off the fatigue on those largest ones and get one more pass on them, then I'm supposed to get like 40% more growth. This is what Paul tells me. He made a very compelling argument, listening to the guy talk, having him on the podcast. We all came from the same place. We all had the same philosophies on training, but he evolved. He said a thing that I've said all the time, which is, I'm not addicted to training. I'm not addicted to the gym. I could give a fuck less how many days a week I come here. I'm about progress, right? What I have right now works. I'll work out twice a week. I've trained a muscle group as little as once every 2 weeks, and I made progress no matter what. But as a competitive bodybuilder with an expiration date, I want to see what I can get. If I can get more out of this, then I'm going to try. And this is a logical deduction. This is the one part of the heuristics that I've never manipulated. I have never adjusted the intensity. So what I'm going to attempt to do is not hit my failure rep and replicate a set. Paul tells me that I should be able to get about 80% of my performance. So if I get 6 reps, shut it down, I should be able to get 4 to 6 on the subsequent set. Also, what this is going to do for my training too is, instead of attempting, like if I had 2 pec exercises, I'm just going to cover that all right here in the seat. I'm not going to move over and do a fly. Same thing if I was training shoulders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, see you on the top set. All right. Pick up where I left off last time. Full stack, 35 pounds extra. So that's automatically progressive overload since last week. So I hit 9 reps right there. I shut it down. On 8, in my head, I thought I could shut it down. This is going to be a challenge for me as a guy who always goes to the brutal end. Judging when to stop is freaking hard, but I definitely felt like on that last one, it would have been an attempt in a stall. So we just left that out. I'm going to take a 3-minute break, and we'll see how many reps we get on the second set. All right, so waited our 3 minutes. Let's see how much of that performance we can replicate, or how much fatigue we generated by shaving that last rep off. This is crazy. I never thought I'd get to this point. I was never forced to get to this point, you know. Doing the heavy duty style HD3 as we have it, I made progress. I never really stalled, you know. I just had the freedom to keep trying new things. And over this last year, you know, I got my frequency way higher by shaving off sets and doing less overall. Discovered that I really like full body training, you know, did upper lower splits. Made tremendous improvements for sure. Coming into this competition prep, I could see it, but is this the thing that could take me to a new level? Well, let's find out. So yeah, what Paul was saying is that I should be able to get, you know, if I failed at 8, I should be able to get 5 or 6 or something like that. When I messaged him earlier, I said about 80% of my progress. 80% of the first set, he said, absolutely, you will. So let's see. Okay, so that was 8 and 9 would have definitely been failure. First set we had 9 and 8 would have definitely been, 10 would have definitely been failure. So this is very interesting. Do I feel stimulated? Absolutely. The pump is always there. I'm very good at contractions, very good with my technique. I got a lot of fucking weight. That makes a difference. So yeah, we'll take another 3-minute break and we'll test it out on shoulders. And then we may move to single sets from there. I don't know if I'm gonna go all out with it today. Let's see what we can do. All right, so we kind of mixed up our exercise order. In the previous training sessions, I've been doing the shoulder press first, but I was so just excited to do the experiment on the chest press. I did that first. But anyhow, we're gonna do a shoulder press in the frontal plane, and we're gonna attempt the first set, shave off failure, hit the second set, and see what our performance looks like. I do have some tricep fatigue from the other pressing, so we'll see how that all ties in. If I wanted to do even better programming on this day, I would ideally probably go and do a multi-set on a lateral raise. But frankly, I just want to fucking press, right? I won't have to do triceps later. So anyhow, this should be significantly heavy. It was hard to warm up. See if I can get 6 good ones. Okay, so probably messed up all my audio, but I had pretty significant velocity loss on that one. Again, man, playing it out this way is really tricky. When you're worried about not hitting failure, you're analyzing every one of those hard reps. But, you know, I'm a breed apart. I'm built different. So I'm used to doing that. I'm used to going really deep. So I just had to keep going until, I guess the thing I'm gonna use to measure this metric is gonna be just velocity loss. On that last rep, it hung up really slow until my triceps kicked in and popped out the last one. So we'll call that, you know, our rep in reserve. We got 2 more minutes and then we'll see what our performance looks like. But I think that was 8 reps. But yeah, I'll catch you on set 2. Get a little close up on the second set. So here we go. Let's see what kind of performance we eke out of this one. I don't think the number will be near as good. I think if we get 4, we're lucky. All right, so I think that was failing on 6, but about 80%. So we had a little bit of a drop off from the first pair to the second pair. And this is where the CNS fatigue comes in. You know, my output is still extremely high. Every rep is hard as shit. I'm not, the only intensity that is changing is I'm just not attempting to hit that, that absolute cessation, that, you know, that grinder of a brutalizer. But I think what's gonna really tell the test is the logbook, right? We've always said this for a long time, and Paul said it on the show, that the logbook dictates everything. We know that what we've been doing, guys, as a heavy duty crew has worked because our logbooks show us. Every time we come in the gym, we get another rep, we add more pounds. Doesn't matter. If we don't train for 2 weeks, we still get more. This double set stuff, I'm gonna have to see a consistent linear progression or I'm cutting it off. But that's why we gotta test it for ourselves, you know. If there's a better way, I wanna know it. I was just texting Jay Vincent about all this stuff, and you know, he's firmly of the opinion that Paul's 100% wrong. And he's talking in the voice that, you know, I spoke with so adamantly for so long. I don't know enough of the technical information to be like, oh, it's actually this way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test it. We're gonna pursue it logically and see what happens. But yeah, let's go train some back now. All right, gents, so we're moving on to train some lats. I've explained this one many times. You want that scapula to fully protract and retract. You want to drive that elbow down along the side. You want to maintain a linear line of force with the implement you're pulling. And not much more to it than that. I guess I'll try the double set approach on this one too. Because I mean, I could use bigger lats. All right, we really slowed down on that one, so that's a winner. We can call that correct. I got to come correct, you know. I should wait to do this side, but then I kind of got hung up talking with Jay Vincent about this foolishness I'm embarking on. So, but this is not my good side with that shoulder, so we're gonna see what we can do here. Was failure. I didn't have the depth on that one. Whew, as the other reps. Damn it, I gotta roll the tape back and see how many I did. All right, set 2. We did 9 reps on the first one. See how many we get on set 2. I got 8. Whew. Well, this really says a lot about, you know, that final rep, that grind or that rep of failure produces a tremendous amount of fatigue. You know, I know for a fact that I wouldn't be able to do half the reps I did if I would try to force that grinder out. There would be no second set. It would be, you know, 3 reps, 4 reps. But this way, I'm able to go back through it one more time. Is that going to elicit growth? We're going to find out. Is it going to give me more? Maybe, maybe not. You know, if effort is what causes those final largest motor units to engage, I need that rep of failure to get those. So am I still leaving them in reserve? Are they being left in reserve? Is the extra pass over on the other ones enough? Is it gonna balance out? Am I gonna get more? We gotta test it out and see. Jay Vincent says, no, that's stupid. They're left in reserve. It's effort that causes them to fire. I know that, you know, but I gotta test it out, man. It's in my head. And I think that that's the highest integrity thing to do, is to put it to the test. You know, test it out, see what happens. If it's true, it'll show up. If it's not, well, I was right all along. I'm still right. You know, if I want to do more volume, I have to lower the intensity. But what we're going to find out is if that's worth it in terms of stimulus. About the same. All right, I gotta get this workout moving. Took a little bit of time in between. Anyway, here I go. All right, so moving on to my chest supported row, working the upper back and the traps. Since I'm gonna do the lower lat fly, I'm just gonna do one top set here. Just gonna take it to failure. I have enough data gathered at the beginning of this workout, and I need to get the ball rolling, so here we go. Actually, I think I need to put a little more weight on it. This is a pretty big jump, especially that these stupid plates are so thick, stick way out. I'll probably get 4 reps and pull my forearm or something stupid. Or hopefully not, hopefully I'm a big strong boy. Yeah, I'll go lighter next time. Okay, that was a good rest though. My upper back is fucking lit. This is still a movement I'm kind of learning, but I do feel it where I'm supposed to, so I know that it's working. So this is the lower trap fly. Learned this from Paul Carter, really cool. Yeah, so we want to maintain an external shoulder. Wait, what? Hold on. We want to externally rotate our shoulders as we're doing the movement. We want to keep them locked in. So the easiest way to do that is going to be to keep your elbows focused on being down. If you're standing here like this, and then you do this, you can feel your lat and your middle back, your trap, tighten up like that. And that's what we want. Anyway, no more commentary. You'll figure it out. And since I don't have cuffs, I'm just gonna hold the handle, and that's gonna kind of help me maintain that position I'm looking for anyhow. I'm gonna keep those elbows tucked like so, and then I'm gonna fly up and back. Okay. I'm lit up like God's wrath at a pride parade. All right, girls. Oh shit, look, my head's cut off. Can't cut my own head off. Let's go back a little bit. Get my beautiful face. That's what you all came here to see, right? Or did you come to see these yams get worked on these RDLs? So yeah, we're in the leg portion of the training session. I'm gonna go up 10 pounds on each side. Forgot my straps again. Let's see if my grip can handle it. And I've got
Austin.
Carson?
Austin.
Austin's gonna be handling safety. He's the safety coordinator on this one, Dawson. Big responsibility. All right. It's fucking heavy, Austin. Oh yeah. I gotta re-grip it. Ah! No, not yet, buddy. Pull it. All right. Yeah, I gotta bring my straps, guys. This shit's not gonna work. Tearing my fucking hands up here. I'm gonna shut this one down and move on to leg press. That's enough of that. Hey guys, subscribe to the Gumroad to fund my need for new straps, because I don't even know where my straps are, so I'd like to buy very expensive, very nice ones. So yeah, subscribe to the Gumroad. Gumroad/Physique Friday. All right, we're not gonna have any fireworks on this one. I'm actually gonna do an isolateral leg press here. My left knee has started kind of acting up again. It feels pretty yucky. So I don't wanna load up the weight that I was using with both legs, overcompensating with my right. I'm just gonna do what I can isolaterally. Exchange some poundage for some motor unit recruitment in a different way. And yeah, I just want to get some work on this damn thing. Let's see if I can, man. Oh shit, that was tough. Yeah, way too many reps. But again, I didn't want to increase the load. The way that knee was feeling, it's just yucky. I need to get with Coach Ben and get him to write me up a little roll around on the floor protocol. You know, movement nerd shit. Whew. All right, gotta go train arms, man. I ain't trained arms in like fucking 2 weeks. Been lazy as hell. Not lazy, it's just these workouts run long, and I'm a grown man with 2 kids and a wife. I gotta get home at some point. Ooh. Okay, we're definitely gonna put these in the front end of a workout, because after those last 2 things, I don't want to do jack. And man, it's all about to be 8 o'clock. Yuck. So, isolateral bicep curl. We're gonna stay a little bit further back. It's gonna increase our brain is fried. It's gonna make the leverages more advantageous for the bicep. I can't even word it right now. I'm toast. Yeah, one thing we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to keep everything in line. I want fist, elbow, and shoulder to all be in line together. What I notice is when I do that, I feel the bicep equally on the inside and the outside, as opposed to just one or the other. If you're like me, well, you're probably not like me because you don't have these big ass giant forearms, and that's indicative of training your brachialis unwittingly. All right, enough of that. Owie, that's a pretty nice pump in there. Burns. Ooh. Maybe I'll try to give you guys a decent angle on the bicep, maybe. I don't know. That was pretty piss poor. Show you my old injured arm. That's what we call old nasty. It's my left arm. Old nasty. Oh, Greg. Well, I'd say it was a pretty good workout. We tried some things out, we tested some stuff, and we found out what we already knew, that, you know, going to failure produces a shitload of fatigue. You know, and if you do that, you're not gonna be able to replicate that kind of work. But just shaving off one rep, or an attempt of a rep really, I just shaved off the attempt, and I was able to reach about 80-90% of that set again. So next time I come in and do this day, we'll we'll run it back and see if we can progressively overload on both sets. And if we do, then we know that some growth occurred. But how will we know that more growth occurred than if I just did it to failure, right? That's the hard thing to figure out for me. It's like, how do I know that I got more stimulus, right? I mean, I progressed with 90% of my effort, but progressing with 100% of your effort, like, we're gonna keep running it. I'm gonna keep thinking about it. And we'll figure this out together, guys. We've been through a lot. But no matter what, we can always fall back on the one set method, which we know works. I think I might go pose a little bit. Maybe give my wife a chance to put the kids to bed. She hates when I show up at bedtime because that just prolongs everything way further. A lot to think about, guys. A lot to think about. Well, tell me your thoughts in the comments. Slam me. Tell me how I've turned my back on everything I knew. That I'm just some poser. As soon as I talk to one shithead, I'm changing my whole training philosophy. You know, how dare I? Mincer would frown down upon me, or, you know, depending on wherever he's at. I'm not the judge. I just want to do what's right, you know. I just want to do what's good. I want to get the best gains. I want you guys to get the best gains. Ooh. See you next time.